What's going on, guys? XGaming here, back again with Chaos on Deponia, so let's get straight into it.
Now, this room seems familiar, doesn't it? We know it from the first part. It's the bridge of Bozo's trawler. We just docked at the floating black market, so what else is there I didn't already tell you about this room? Maybe... yes, there's something. I scripted the intro cutscene myself here. That was great fun. One of the last steps we take is actually staging our scenes. Speaking in terms of order, the whole game is first scripted with dummies and placeholders. At that point, we haven't created all the visuals. Then we add the backgrounds, and after that, we animate the characters corresponding to the backgrounds. So basically, we let them do all their special actions they have to perform with in certain scenes. That's a crapload of work if you have to do it all by frame instead of just telling the character to do this or that, like you can simply do it in 3D games. Yeah, it's probably not that simple, but in 2D, very few things are recyclable if they are tailored towards certain backgrounds. And thus, we end up with a huge pile of special animations we can't use again. There are multi-purpose animations, though, things we can use again, that are directly linked to the characters, facial expressions, or things like the morning stretch routine. That one is, for example, from an idle animation. We can reuse that if the character is supposed to yawn and stretch, or when taking a look around in the sense of, oh, where have the others gone? We also have a solid pool of close-up animations by now. That's a good thing about a game you had to split in 3 parts. We pile up a lot of those standard animations and can actually animate without losing precious time or money we don't have to begin with. The related technique is something I grew really fond of. We have this close-up scene, for example, where Rufus reads that letter. This scene is a patchwork from other Rufus close-ups. I still take it on visually, cut them and fiddle in different facial expressions that were never meant for Rufus, yet still serve as backup animation pool. I enjoy this sort of tinkering. The true reward, however, came with Goodbye Deponia, since Rufus acquired a great pool of roughly 20 different emotions: pissed, bored, daring, vicious, evil, happy, silly, all kinds of stuff, really. The more animations we had, the more fun was this final touch, the pimping, the polishing, and staging.
I can't leave here, not without gold. Huh. The floating black market is in the middle of the rust-red sea, far from the cruiser routes of the Organon. That's good. Ah, nothing beats a fresh breeze from the sea. The smell of freedom and adventure. And tar and toxic chemicals. And Tony's mother?
Shh! You're scaring the fish.
Rotten fish. Close enough. But this native presents a welcome opportunity to make use of my cosmopolitan tactfulness and my linguistic skills. Me, Rufus, where I find lab belong to Doc.
Are you talking to me, ape man? We put maps up for people like you.
Ah, you mean heroes passing through?
I mean people we prefer not to talk to.
Hey, just so you know it, I have an excellent sense of direction. I don't need your stinking maps.
So what you looking at it for?
I'm not looking. I'm just shooting it a contemptuous glance. Doc's office is in the industrial park. But where's the tavern? Ah, well, who cares? I guess I'll go see Doc first then. I can look around the town later. First, I have to help Doc get Goal back into shape. Can't have the old coot grabbing all the credit for himself.
I love minigames, but this isn't a minigame. Actually, it's just a map. What I'm trying to say is I like maps. So, that kind of local maps helping you to travel to certain areas of the game. On the backside, you can't just explore or walk to that area yourself. The good thing about the floating black market is that you actually walk to each of its areas without using the map. But if you want that shortcut, however, you're free to use it, as walking from area to area takes quite long. So we decided to spread these maps all over town, since we want to provide some waypoints for players who would get lost otherwise. To prevent him from that, we created that local map and the first couple of waypoints to get right into the action. Explorers would get their share later on if they'd want to see all the connections between locations. It's in fact one of the last assets done for Chaos on Deponia, and I can't help but to say I like maps, and this overview of the floating black market is something I scribbled pretty early. The more proud I am that it found its way into the game eventually. Would be a terrible waste if that didn't happen after all. Oh, the things you have to do to design a game. In this case, it's installing pipes. The pipe labyrinth over there will play an important role in the game's course. We had to redesign it a few times, but more on that later on. There's, you might have guessed it, yet another small corresponding minigame, and I like minigames. Above anything else, we installed pipes all over the level. Originally, it was supposed to be one of the most vicious puzzles, at least among those in Chapter 4. That's because it's a puzzle complex where you have to not only combine items, but also had to relate them to each other. Among other things, the differently colored pipes were part of that, and we had to lay them all through the level. Jeez, this puzzle was literally all over the place until we figured out a satisfying mechanic. That was another great collaboration with Bade, our head of game design, who kept bugging me, "That's too complicated, Pokey. People just won't get it." But eventually we polished it and got differently colored pipes as a result. Down there it's actually brassy and not so different to the pipes you see there after all. Maybe I should have talked about this in another screen. What else can I tell you about the screen? Probably that there's a pretty old scribble done by Micha from the time before he found the actually Deponia style. It was among the first buildings he sketched for the floating black market, and that was in fact Doc's houseboat. You can't really tell from this angle that it's a houseboat. From the other direction it's probably more obvious, but the form was pretty similar in Micha's sketch. Nah, not really. Yeah, well, turns out I got nothing on this after all. Doc's workshop. Probably a good opportunity to try to explain how I think video games as narrative media can do things other non-interactive media like film or books can't achieve quite as well. Especially this scene where we have Clever Bite blocking the entrance to Doc's workshop is a good example of congruity between the external conflict of a guard dog and the inner conflicts that Rufus has to face. It shows his inability to acknowledge the superiority of this highly intelligent and technological, sophisticated robot dog, which leads to him going through far more trouble than he'd actually have to.
Okay, look, I'm like an actress, right? I play every scene as you'd expect me to, and nobody would ever know what goes on inside me. Nobody will ever figure that out. My cousin didn't, my geography teacher didn't, my parole officer didn't, neither did those 3 shrinks and my various exes. Nobody ever managed. Nobody. Because I've got a serious poker face. And what I did there, in that scene, those inner conflicts, this congruity pressure, that's all just an act. But it's so well acted, in fact, that everybody thinks they figured out what, But nope, just give up, people. You will never know. Especially not you, Pokey.
All right. But there's another thing about Clever Byte. It's actually a little amicable nod towards a friend of mine, a programmer, highly talented computer nerd from a circle of friends, where it was etiquette to have as many pseudonyms as possible, programmer street names, so to speak. By the time now, they relax a little bit about that, I reckon. But I stumbled across that habit they had developed at some point in their use, and I thought it's pretty funny that his name in the scene was Clever Byte. It was so funny, actually, that I just adapted it into the game right away. And for a robot dog, it was especially fitting, Clever Byte.
Yeah, I got it. What a cute little doggy you are.
I beg your pardon? My name is Cleverbyte. I'm an autonomous, cybernetically highly developed service unit, programmed to perform complex security tasks.
Cleverbite. Oh, such an amusing name for a robo-dog.
I will not suffer such indignities. Through the neuronal connection of computer circuits with organic cerebral matter, I am capable of processing more than 3,000 floating point operations per second.
Can you sit up and beg?
Perhaps not, but I could sit up and grab something until you beg me to let go.
You've got quite an attitude for a cyber whatever mongrel, but I'm pretty sure that your bark is worse than your bite.
Do you hear me barking then?
I don't know. All I can hear is
Me, nerdy ramblings, me.
I'll ask Doc to make you a cyber muzzle.
To do that, you would need to get past me, right?
I'm not going to allow some stupid mutt to block my path.
Actually, I'm a superior cybernetic.
Me, superior, me.
Let me show you who is superior here. Down.
I am not sure I have comprehended your intention.
That's because you're only a silly dog.
It might help if you could talk in complete sentences.
Let me through. I have to see Doc.
Oh, but I can't do that. If I let you through, my designation as a watchdog would be completely compromised.
And if you don't, you'll be completely compressed. I think you're forgetting who's the superior species here.
Then why don't you simply show me?
Stupid mutt!
What? You're giving up already? How disappointing.
Hey, look what I've got! And now, be a good dog and fetch the stick. What's wrong? Fetch the stick, or are you too stupid?
Yes, exactly. That's it.
Fetch that stick.
No.
You go fetch that stick now. Attaboy!
If you're so fond of that stick, why don't you go get it yourself? And if you're a good boy, I might even let you pass.
Go on. I just threw a stick, and you are a dog. So, what do dogs do in a case like this?
I wait for you to make an even bigger fool of yourself?
No, wrong. You fetch the stick. Or are you too stupid? Wait. I'll show you how it's done.
Oh, boy. You didn't really just do that, did you? I can't take it anymore.
Maybe the fixture's loose.
Da capo! Da capo!
Exactly. That barking trash can may think he can shock me, but I'll show him what a shock. What the shock. Oh, whatever. Some ingenious pun with shock. Shock. Because of the electric shock and so on. Oh, come on, Rufus. You don't need a punchline to be brilliant. Now he's in for a nasty shock. Hey, what's wrong? Are you giving up?
Yes, you were right. This stick business is just too much for me.
You stupid muddy cur. Here, like this. You put the stick in your mouth.
Oh boy, I can't take it anymore. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, 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 oh boy.
Hey, Doc.
Rufus. At last. Goal really almost bought it this time.
But, as I can see, you have everything under control. I'll go look for Bozo then. He mentioned a tavern.
Her implant has been badly damaged. I need to operate right away. There is only one problem. The data cartridge is not going to survive the procedure.
I take it that's a bad thing?
Well, yes. Her entire mind is stored on the thing. Her memory, her character.
The ascension codes?
I can save the data, but I need a bunch of empty cartridges.
And these cartridges are hard to obtain?
Not really. This is the floating black market, after all. There's nothing you can't get here. And brain implants are currently all the rage. I installed another one just the other day. You will find the cartridges in the gadget shop.
What? Why me?
Because I need to get ready for the surgery.
And I need to familiarize myself with the local circumstances. Bozo said something about a tavern?
Rufus.
All right. So I get those cartridges in the gadget shop?
It's right by the harbor, outside the city gate. Just have them charged to my account. But make very sure that you get the good cartridges. The cheap ones are bound to cause problems.
Well, it's your money.
Ugh, unconscious again. Great.
Patience! This is only the beginning of the game and...
Protagonist.
Come on. Rufus is already there, and he can assist Doc to bring you back into action.
What protagonist sleeps all the time?
Well, there are plenty. Sleeping Beauty, or Meg Ryan in Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she did sleep. She slept all the... Alright, the title has Sleepless in it, but... Well, that's about Tom Hanks. Well, at least I fell asleep while watching. Somebody's sleeping. And so are you. It's only a temporary condition. Moving on.
Hey, you.
Who? Me?
No, we're talking to the three-headed platypus behind you.
We've been watching you.
We know what you're planning.
Oh, yeah? Seems like you know more than I do.
News spreads fast in the floating black market. You've got something very valuable there.
It mustn't fall into the wrong hands.
And your hands would be the right ones?
Let's just say we're friends.
We're the good guys.
We fight against oppression by the Organon.
Death to the Organon.
The Organon is planning something
Something unspeakable.
so unspeakable that we cannot talk about it.
We've got to go.
We've already said too much.
But we'll be back.
And then we'll get what is rightfully ours.
Do not talk about this to anybody.
Keep your back to the wall.
And do not forget who your true friends are.
Death to the Organon.
Death to the Organon.
What was that all about?
And who have we here? Well, if it isn't the newcomer that everyone's talking about.
They're talking about me. High time, too. All those stories of my heroic deeds are actually quite understated.
We're not interested in fairy tales. You've got something that we want.
Huh. Tough. Good looks is something you're born with.
We are talking about the secret ascension codes.
The Ascension codes? Over my dead body. Wait. Let me rephrase that. Uh-oh. Ow! Ow! Oh! Ouch! Ow! Ow! Oh! Ouch! Oh! Oh! Ow! Oof! Ow! Oh!
He hasn't got the money. I guess he isn't as stupid as he looks. So what do we do now? We'd better report this to Donna.
Oh! Oh! Lots of friendly people here. Maybe I should tone it down a bit.
We didn't leave that many widescreen rooms in Deponia, as most scenes transport what we want to say just fine in standard format. But for a change, we have a screen that scrolls when Rufus moves to the left or right far enough. Another great moment for our superb parallax scrolling, even if it's not much and only in the foreground to create some depth. Pity, really. But then again, it's probably better game-wise if you can reach all the objects in the screen with one click. But I guess it's only adequate for this beautiful location to apply the reinvented wonder of widescreens, saying, "Nope, this is where we scroll and enjoy the nice panorama." And accordingly, we will bear the cross of clicking 2 times to reach the gadget shop's door. We can take it, so take it. Enjoy the silence, enjoy the moment. Pokey.
Welcome to Gilligan's Gadget Garden. You are being served by Shop-O-Mat 2000. How may I help you?
Yeah, Doc sent me to get a set of cartridges.
Of course, we currently offer 2 different brands. The first is Platinum Proof Professional. They are somewhat more expensive but of better quality. There is a cheaper kind as well. Cowboy Dodo's Jolly All-Purpose Cartridges. Their quality may not be top of the line, but they come with a free colorful lollipop.
A lollipop?
So which brand do you prefer?
And those are really the good cartridges?
Of course. Remember, Goal's mind is at stake here.
All right. Here goes nothing.
Hmm? Oh! Did it work?
I'm not sure. Something's not right.
Rufus? I might have known. Why does the same question pop up in my mind every time I set eyes on you?
Who's that good-looking guy in the snappy overcoat?
Where am I?
Because the aura of my magnetism is befuddling your sense of orientation.
Seriously, where did you drag me off to this time? And what is that awful smell?
This is the floating black market. You're safe here.
Safe. Rufus, I was on my way to Elysium.
Well, yes, you were, but with the wrong guy.
Cletus wanted to help me.
And you trust that lying slime bag?
Yes, who I am more likely to trust. My fiancé or his cheap imitation?
Hey, what's up with you?
What's up? I wake up only to find myself in some stinking torture chamber. That's what's up with me. I'm already itching all over just because I'm forced to breathe this foul, polluted air. I'm about to be sick. I need to get out of here.
She seems to be pretty mad.
Not really. I just have a certain effect on explosive women.
What, lighting the fuse?
Yeah, very funny. But she actually did seem a little volatile. Are you sure you didn't mess her up somehow?
I think I might be able to explain this. Some information wasn't written to the cartridge, almost as if we had used the cheap ones.
Not as cheap as your excuses.
Her mind appears to have been split 3 ways.
So, the woman who just stomped out of the lab is only a part of Goal?
And not the most agreeable part, I hope.
Come on, Doc. I thought you were an expert.
It is nothing that I can't fix, but for that I need all 3 cartridges, including the one that is currently inserted in her implant. Also, I cannot operate without the consent of the patient. Therefore, all 3 parts of Goal must cooperate before I can go ahead with the surgery.
Oh yeah, judging from her mood, she'll be positively enthusiastic about you flipping open her skull again.
Agreed. Maybe you had better start with a different part of her character.
Huh?
Take the 2 cartridges that are still in the output hopper. And this thing.
What is it? A remote control?
Not quite. See that compartment in the back? Just insert one of the other cartridges and press the button when you're close to Goal.
That's what I said, a remote.
It's more complicated than that. Data's written to a buffer and...
And I can zap back and forth between 2 characters.
No. Yes. Something like that, but
Just like a remote.
just like a remote.
Cool. I wish I'd had one of these for Tony.
Hurry up, Rufus. The longer the fragments of her character get used to their independence, the more difficult it will become to talk them into having that surgery done. Go find Goal and persuade her. All 3 parts of her. I will prepare everything else here in the meantime.
All right, here we go.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
One look, the heat is rising, and I've been cold for so long. One touch, and we're igniting, setting fire to it all. You know these flames ain't going out. This building is crumbling to the ground. Don't think that we can stop it now, 'cause baby, our love is gonna burn.